Hey Cowboys Nation! Today we're diving deep into everything happening with the Dallas Cowboys. And let's be honest, there's plenty to unpack. Over the past month or so, the offense has shown flashes of brilliance, but has struggled to maintain that momentum in the second half of games. Now, that's not to say the Cowboys are performing terribly. Far from it. But when you set the expectations for a team with the talent they have, anything less than consistent dominance feels a little underwhelming. In their recent matchup, the Cowboys posted an impressive 24 points in the first half, but that spark didn't carry through the entire game. Scoring in the first half looked good on paper, and it shows that this offense has all the tools to be explosive, yet something seems to stall after the break. The ground game has been strong, with over 200 yards rushing in that contest, but the effectiveness on each play hasn't always been there. This was a game against a struggling team, yet the Cowboys were expected to put up 40 points, and they fell short. That's not a cause for panic, but it certainly raises questions about execution and finishing drives. One thing that stands out is how the defense has struggled to hold teams, even against squads that are not particularly formidable. Allowing 23 points from a team like the Commanders should not happen, and it points to systemic issues that go beyond a single matchup. The Cowboys' defense has been inconsistent all season, and when a backup quarterback can complete 15 of 23 passes for nearly 200 yards against you, it exposes glaring weaknesses. The defensive line has not been able to dominate as expected, and the linebackers are often out of position, which puts too much pressure on the secondary. It's clear that defensive adjustments are needed heading into the offseason. The coaching staff has to address these gaps, and there's a strong argument to be made that the defensive coordinator cannot return in the same capacity next year. The bend-but-don't-break philosophy has shown cracks, and, at times, it has been broken repeatedly, leading to explosive plays that swing momentum in favor of the opponent. Turning back to the offensive side, there are significant questions about the offensive line. The right tackle position, in particular, has been a challenge, and while players like Tyler Smith have stepped in at left tackle and TJ Bass at left guard, neither has been particularly dominant in recent games. Dak Prescott has absorbed some sacks that are on him, but the protection hasn't always been where it needs to be to allow this offense to function at its highest level. The balance between rushing and passing has been solid, but finishing drives consistently remains an issue. Despite posting a combined total of over 480 yards, the team has not always turned yardage into touchdowns efficiently. Now, let's talk about George Pickens. There's been a lot of chatter about whether the Cowboys will keep him, and all signs point to a continued commitment, likely via the franchise tag if necessary. Pickens has shown flashes of elite skill, with big gains and consistent ability to make plays in key moments. Losing him would be a setback for an offense that needs dependable playmakers. He is a player the Cowboys will want to build around, especially as they look to improve the overall offensive balance next season. Maintaining core contributors like Pickens will be critical, especially as free agency and the draft approach. When it comes to the draft, the Cowboys' current pick position is around 16, though it fluctuates depending on outcomes from other games. With the way the league shakes out, that pick could move slightly up or down, but the team has to prepare for targeted selections to fill specific needs. Pass rush, linebacker depth, and cornerback reinforcements are all likely on the radar. The defense needs immediate attention, and the draft is the best opportunity to address multiple areas of concern while planning for sustained success. Looking back at recent games, there's a theme of explosive potential not being fully realized. Big plays have been allowed by the defense, and the offense, while productive, has been inconsistent in closing out drives. Even in games where the Cowboys have dominated early, there is a pattern of slowing down, which prevents them from completely overwhelming opponents. The coaching staff, especially on offense, has shown creativity and capability, but consistency remains the challenge. Running back rotations and offensive line adjustments have helped at times, but they are not long-term solutions without more strategic planning and personnel reinforcement. As we move toward the end of the season, the focus naturally shifts to both development and preparation for the offseason. Sitting starters, evaluating younger players, and identifying key areas for improvement are critical steps. The Cowboys have a wealth of talent, and much of it is young, which means growth and development can happen quickly if properly managed. The team's ability to address defensive gaps, solidify the offensive line, and maintain key skill players will dictate how competitive they are next year. It's also worth noting that some individual performances stand out. Players like Dak Prescott have maintained efficiency under pressure, showing resilience even when protection breaks down. Running backs and receivers have contributed explosively at times, but the balance across all positions is not yet where it needs to be. Special teams and situational play calling will also need to be part of the evaluation process, as turnovers and missed opportunities have cost points in several contests. In conclusion, the Cowboys are at a crossroads in terms of consistency and personnel management. They have shown flashes of elite potential on both sides of the ball, but continue to leave questions unanswered. Offensive drives often start strong but fail to finish, and defensive weaknesses allow teams to capitalize when they should be controlled. The draft and offseason decisions will be pivotal in determining whether this team can convert its talent into consistent success. With George Pickens likely staying, targeted defensive acquisitions, and an offensive line that needs refinement, the Cowboys have a plan, but execution remains the key to translating potential into tangible victories on the field. As we continue breaking down the Cowboys season, it's impossible to ignore the delicate balance between winning now and planning for the future. The team has experienced moments of brilliance, but those moments are often counterbalanced by missed opportunities and inconsistent play. In games where the offense clicks in the first half, there is still a troubling tendency to taper off after halftime. The question becomes, why does this happen? Part of it lies in adjustments from opposing defenses, but part of it is execution. Plays that look crisp early in the game become less effective when teams can predict tendencies or exploit gaps in the offensive line. This makes protecting Dak Prescott even more critical because when the pocket collapses, it limits his ability to read the field and make plays. The offensive line has had flashes of competence, but against stronger opponents, weaknesses become glaring, and that is a concern that cannot be ignored moving forward. George Pickens continues to be a focal point for the offense. His ability to stretch the field, create separation, and make contested catches provides a consistent threat that defenses must respect. Keeping him via franchise tag or long-term deal seems almost inevitable given his skill set and impact on the field. He has proven to be versatile, contributing both as a deep threat and in critical short yardage situations. Losing him would create a void that would be difficult to fill, especially as the team looks to build a complementary, supporting cast around Prescott and the rushing attack. The Cowboys must also consider their draft strategy carefully. With the current draft picks sitting around 16, targeting positions that address immediate defensive concerns will be essential. Reinforcing the pass rush, adding a reliable linebacker, and improving depth in the secondary are likely priorities. The draft is a rare opportunity to address multiple weak spots simultaneously, and the team will need to balance the desire for immediate impact with long-term development. While the offense has been productive at times, finishing drives remains inconsistent. This season has shown that yardage alone does not translate into scoring. Whether due to missed reads, protection breakdowns, or questionable play calling, the Cowboys have left points off the board that could have made games more comfortable. Special teams play has also contributed to swings in momentum, and field position remains an area where improvement is needed. Maintaining balance in rushing and passing, keeping defenses honest, and ensuring that situational play calling is precise will be key focus areas as the team prepares for the offseason. Dak Prescott's performance has been commendable in several ways. Despite facing pressure and occasional breakdowns in protection, he has maintained efficiency and continued to create opportunities for his teammates. His leadership on the field provides stability, but he cannot compensate entirely for systemic issues in blocking or defensive vulnerabilities. Supporting him with a stronger offensive line, clear route concepts, and dependable pass protection will be critical for maximizing the potential of this offense in the coming seasons. Looking at the overall talent pool, the Cowboys have a mix of experienced players and promising young talent. Integrating these players into a coherent system will be crucial. Younger players have shown flashes of ability, but require guidance and consistent opportunities to develop. The team's depth at skill positions, offensive line, and defense is adequate, but refinement, coaching, and strategic acquisitions will determine how competitive the Cowboys can be against playoff-caliber opponents. The end-of-season approach also raises questions about player management and game strategy. Decisions around sitting starters, giving backups meaningful reps, and evaluating talent in live game situations can have a lasting impact on roster construction. Ensuring that players who are expected to be key contributors next season are healthy and ready to perform, while also assessing potential draft picks or free agent signings, is a delicate balance. The Cowboys must weigh short-term results against long-term benefits to build a team capable of sustained success. In recent games, there has been a consistent theme. The offense is capable of explosive plays, the defense is capable of big stops, but consistency is elusive. Drives are often started with promise, but fail to conclude successfully, and defensive breakdowns allow opponents to regain momentum. The coaching staff must continue to evaluate every aspect of the game, from protection schemes and route concepts to defensive assignments and situational adjustments. Strategic planning combined with precise execution will determine whether the Cowboys can turn potential into championship-caliber performance. Individual performances will continue to be closely monitored. Dak Prescott, George Pickens, and key contributors in the running game and offensive line must continue to improve, while defensive standouts must emerge to balance the team. Addressing weaknesses in coverage, tackling, and pass rush will be essential to prevent future lapses. The draft, free agency, and off-season development will play a significant role in addressing these concerns, but internal adjustments and player growth cannot be underestimated. Looking ahead, the Cowboys are positioned to take meaningful steps toward improvement. The offensive talent is evident, the defensive concerns are clear, and the management has the opportunity to make targeted acquisitions and draft selections that address immediate needs. Balancing development with performance, maintaining key contributors, and creating a more disciplined, cohesive unit will define how successful this team can be in the next season. With a strong focus on improving consistency, closing out games, and reinforcing weaknesses, the Dallas Cowboys can leverage their existing talent while making strategic moves that set them up for long-term competitiveness and potential playoff success. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a move that has left the NFL world in sheer disbelief, whispers have emerged suggesting that star wide receiver Terry McLaurin could be leaving Washington. Known for his explosive speed, precise route running, and uncanny ability to make defenders look foolish, McLaurin has been a cornerstone of the Commanders' offense. However, sources close to the situation hint that the talented receiver may be eyeing a new challenge, one that could see him donning the star-studded jersey of the Dallas Cowboys. The mere suggestion of McLaurin in Dallas has sent shockwaves through both fan bases. Commander supporters are reportedly reeling at the thought of losing one of their most electrifying playmakers, while Cowboys fans are buzzing at the prospect of pairing him with an already potent offense. Imaginations run wild as analysts speculate how McLaurin's skill set could perfectly complement the Cowboys' high-flying passing attack, potentially creating one of the most dynamic receiving duos in recent memory. Though nothing has been confirmed, insiders point to behind-the-scenes discussions that indicate McLaurin could be seeking a fresh start in a team with a winning pedigree. The Cowboys, long known for their aggressive pursuit of top talent, may see McLaurin as the missing piece to elevate their offense to an even more elite level. For McLaurin, the move would represent a chance not only to showcase his talents on a bigger stage, but also to join a franchise with a storied history and a passionate fan base eager for championship glory. The rumor has already ignited social media, with fans from both cities expressing a mix of outrage, excitement, and disbelief. Some argue that McLaurin's departure would be a devastating blow to Washington's offensive plans, while others envision him thriving in Dallas' fast-paced scheme, turning potentially game-changing plays into highlight reels week after week. NFL insiders caution that, while the chatter is intense, these things can shift rapidly. Contracts, negotiations, and team strategies remain fluid, but the mere possibility of McLaurin swapping burgundy for silver and blue is enough to dominate headlines and spark heated debates across the league. As the speculation continues, one thing is clear. If Terry McLaurin does make the leap to the Cowboys, the NFL landscape could be reshaped in ways fans are only beginning to imagine. Will Washington regret losing their star? Could Dallas be on the verge of creating an unstoppable offensive juggernaut? For now, the league waits, and the rumor mill churns relentlessly. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.